What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Drop a like if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also go check out my second channel, Goblin420, and watch my latest vlog. Just uploaded that, getting into vlogging, so go check that out. It's about my time in Miami. It's a blast. Also, this video, I want to clarify, is a remaster of a very old vaulted video. This video was originally uploaded in summer of 2016, and it's been private for a long time. During the adpocalypse of YouTube, I had to delete over 100 of my old videos, this being one of them, and I felt that this absolutely deserved a remaster. Hope you guys enjoy, and for the OGs who have already heard the original video, I hope you enjoy the remaster. Real quick, let's take a moment for our sponsor. This video is brought to you guys by MyBookie. This weekend, MyBookie has some of the best odds for the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight, and you can take advantage of these odds by doubling your first deposit up to $1,000 when you use code GOBLIN. Head over to MyBookie today and make sure you don't miss out on the fun this weekend. With tons of different opportunities, you're sure to have some fun. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Don't forget, code GOBLIN. Big thanks to them. Now let's dive into the video. So this happened quite a long time ago, way back in my goon days, my high school days. And for those of you guys who have been following me for a while, you might know that during this period of my life, I was a lot more reckless than I am now, and I would do a lot of stupid shit just for the sake of doing it. This is a prime example of that. On this particular day, I was very bored and I had nothing to really do, so I went over to my friend Cody's house. We were hanging out there for a little bit smoking, but we ran out of weed and his brother didn't have any to serve at the time, so we had to go find ourselves some. We started hitting up some friends of ours, and we ended up meeting up with a couple of our friends who are some common characters in older stories, but I don't really talk to these guys anymore. We met up with my friend Josh, who, mind you, is not my previous roommate Josh. This is a different guy, and also a guy who we're going to call Elijah, because his real name is just hard to say, and I'm going to butcher it. But I meet up with Josh and Elijah, and we all hop in my car, and Elijah was the one who had a little bit of weed to serve us. So, we were pretty happy about that. We had a night coming together, and we were ready to rumble. The only problem was we didn't actually know what to do that night besides sit in my car and smoke weed. And I drove a two-door, so having four heads in my car smoking sucked because there was no room, so we had to find something to do. For the most of the night, I'll admit, we kind of just ended up riding around in my car smoking blunts. Not really anything eventful until later in the night. Now, at this point, we were pretty stoned out of our minds, the four of us, and we were trying to find some funny shit to do. One of us had gotten the idea to do the loud challenge. For those of you guys who aren't aware of what the loud challenge is, it's essentially going into a public place and smoking a blunt or a joint or something like that. The objective is to smoke it as much as you can, right? Now, we thought this sounded very fun, but it was already like 10 o'clock at night, and most places were starting to close, so we couldn't go into like a Target or really anything like that. We also didn't want to go into a Walmart because we figured like, yeah, we're probably going to get fucked if we do this in a Walmart. So, we're driving around and we're trying to think of places to do this at, and we pass a Little Caesars. Now, this is a Little Caesars that I frequented. I had friends who worked at this Little Caesars who would give me free pizzas, and it was also right next to my house. So getting banned from this location was really not ideal, but it happened. We pull up in this Little Caesars parking lot, and we're sitting out front, and we're rolling up a couple blunts. And we're talking about doing the loud challenge, but everyone's kind of hesitant, except for Elijah. Elijah is down as hell. He's like, yo, I'm going in, I'm smoking the blunt in this lobby, but I need someone to go with me. I volunteered. I was like, you know what? If Elijah's doing it, I'm doing it. Like I don't want to be the lone soldier here. Cody and Josh didn't want to partake, but that's completely fine. We had the time of our lives in this Little Caesars, right? So we're sitting in the parking lot, we finish rolling up a couple blunts, and we smoke one of them in the parking lot, and we save the other one for Elijah and I. Now, we're chilling out, we're kind of planning how we're going to do this. Now, Little Caesars is very small, in particular this location. I mean, all of them are in very small spots, like usually Little Caesars is like the size of a broom closet, but This one in particular, you could fit like maybe 5 people in the lobby, no joke. With these new COVID social distancing rules, I don't even know if you could fit one. I don't even know if the lobby's 6 feet wide. That shit was tiny. But we're planning out how we're going to do it. And we're like, you know what? We're just going to go in and we're going to kind of stand at the back and look at the menu like we're thinking and just tap the blunt. We thought we were so clever. We were like, dude, there's no way we're going to notice. Looking back at it, how the fuck would you not notice 2 idiots, the only 2 guests in your store, smoking a blunt in your lobby? But in our heads, we're sitting here and we're like, dude, man, if we just do this covert, like we zero our hits, no way they're gonna notice. Like, this is genius, dude. We're gonna get to smoke the whole thing. So Elijah and I are kind of getting hyped up about this. We're like, all right, you know, this sounds like a fun time. We finish off our first blunt and we hop out of the car. Now, we're all sitting in my car, but I wasn't driving. Cody was the one driving, kind of just because I didn't really feel like it. I would let my friends drive my car a lot whenever I didn't feel like driving, and this was just one of those instances. So Cody, I guess you could classify as our getaway driver, right? Elijah and I, we get out of my car and we go inside of the Little Caesars. As we're walking up to the place, we spark the blunt. So we get in there and we've got a freshly sparked blunt standing in this Little Caesars. Now, luckily it was very late at night, so there was only 2 employees in the whole store, at least that we saw. There was one guy who was kind of like behind the register doing something with pizza, and there was another dude we didn't even realize was there. Initially, we only saw 1 employee, so we were like, yo, this is prime, dude. Like, this guy doesn't look like he's gonna give a shit. This guy doesn't look like he's gonna do anything, right? So we're standing there, and we're looking at the menu, and the guy comes up, and he's like, hey, how can I help you? And at this point, Elijah's holding the blunt, and I'm like, oh, we just need a minute to think. Like, we'll order in a minute. He's like, okay, cool. And he kind of walks away. Now, he looked at us for a little longer than was usual. However, I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, whatever, man. Like, maybe we're just stoned and overthinking. So far, so good. We genuinely believed in our heads that we were getting away with this. We're passing the blunt back and forth, and we started playing baseball with it. We decided that was the best way to do it because if we hold our hits in and just pass it after each hit, there wouldn't be a shitload of smoke, and we could probably end up hitting this for longer before they call the cops or whatever the hell they're going to do. We didn't know how they were going to react, but it's a Little Caesars, so we figured chances are they're not going to give a shit because they probably smoke in there too. So we're chilling out looking at the menu, and we're trying to act like we blended. We're trying to act cool, dude. We're like scratching our chins like, dude, I don't know. Knowing damn well that I don't think either of us even had enough money in our pocket to get a damn pizza, dude. We were in high school. If we had a penny on us, it went to weed or the gas tank, and that's it, boys. We're going hungry. Maybe a McChicken if we're feeling rich that day, you know? But we're standing in this lobby and we're baseballing this blunt, and at this point, we're about halfway through it. We were power smoking the fuck out of this blunt. We were taking the biggest hits we could because we wanted to see how far into it we could get. We had gotten about halfway through it, and at this point, we see another employee. The second guy comes out from the back, and holy motherfuck, this is the most giant man I've ever seen. Like, I shit you not, he wasn't like big or bulky. He was very thin, but I shit you not, this might be the tallest guy I've ever seen in person. This dude was like minimum 6'6". I wish I was exaggerating, but this guy was a giant. I'm a fairly short guy. Elijah was a bit taller than me, and the cashier guy, from what I remember, was definitely taller than both of us. But this guy was a tower. This guy was a colossus that I will never forget. He comes out, and he looks at us. We're standing there hitting this blunt, and as soon as we see this guy, Elijah's like, yeah, we should probably fucking go, because this guy looks dead at us and looks at the blunt. Like, he sees us while I'm holding the blunt up to my mouth, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I think we've done enough of the loud challenge, dude. Elijah's sitting there, and he's like, yeah, we should probably go. The guy's visibly irritated. You could just tell by his facial expression that this guy's waiting to say something to us. On our way out, you know, we're kind of getting ready to leave, and he's like, get the fuck out of here, dude. He's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing in here? And we figure that's the extent of it. We figure like, okay, haha, guy's mad, we smoked a blunt, whatever. So we walk out of the Little Caesars, and we go back to the car, and we're just taking a stroll, and we're still tapping the blunt. Now, the car wasn't parked right in front of the Little Caesars. We were kind of parked in the middle of a really big parking lot of this whole strip mall, where Little Caesars was like the only business open at this point. So we were just one of the only cars in this pretty big lot, and we were kind of parked a little far back. So we walk out of Little Caesars, and we're laughing our asses off. We're like, dude, that was pretty funny. Like, hey, that was cool, like, whatever. They didn't really, like, get that mad. The guy was just kind of cussing. We figured that was it. As we're approaching the car, we're like maybe a few feet away from it. Someone starts yelling at us from behind. We turn around, and it's the dynamic duo. These dudes are standing in the fucking doorway, posted up like Barnacle Boy and Mermaid Man, dude. You got the plump, shorter guy, and you got this giant, lanky, fucking 6'7" NBA drafted Little Caesars employee who could genuinely probably jump and touch the roof of the place, like from the outside. This man was a colossus. So the other guy, the shorter guy, is just kind of standing in the doorway. And I guess now that he's got his huge fucking giant man colossus homie with him, he's got a little courage to like start talking shit too. He's like, hey, like, don't ever fucking come back here. Like, you guys get the fuck out of here. Like, if I ever see you again, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, like, wait a minute, Now there's 4 of us in the car. But mind you, we're not really trying to fight. We're just kind of trying to smoke. Because the guy listen, do the math on this equation, all right? This man, the giant man, the colossus, the titan, if you will, was easily a foot taller, maybe not a foot, but like probably 8 inches taller than anyone we were with. This man's reach was insane. I mean, this guy could probably stand on one side of my car, reach over the roof, and put his hand through the other window. That's how long this guy's fucking arms were. So I'm like, yo, I want no smoke with this dude. I'm like 5'6", I'm chubby, I play World of Warcraft. I just don't want the problems, quite honestly. So Cody rolls down the window after we got in the car, and he starts yelling shit back. So we're just arguing with these guys, right? He rolls down his driver's side window to yell back, right? He's yelling shit at these guys, and the tall dude comes walking over to our car. At this point, Elijah and I are in the car, and so is our friend Josh. We're 4 deep in the car, and he comes up, and he's still talking shit, and we're just arguing back and forth, and he comes up, and he, like, punches my fucking window really hard. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, like, are we about to fuck this guy up or what's going on? Like, low key, I kind of just came here to tap a blunt. I didn't really come here to scrap. And also, we are like 2 blocks away from the police station. So, like, I want no part in this. I also just really didn't want to throw hands with the guy who probably had twice my reach. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, this is fucked. Cody luckily was on the same page as me. He's like, yeah, we're getting the fuck. This guy's getting physical over this, dude. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, yo, Little Caesars has to have the craziest benefits package ever for this guy to actually get physical over the Little Caesars lobby. Like, what are they like 401k matching at Little Caesars? Do they give good bonuses? What the fuck are they doing with these employees where these dudes are actually defending their property physically? If you went into a McDonald's lobby and smoked, I'm pretty sure they'd tap it with you. If you went into any other pizza joint, especially Domino's, I'm pretty sure they'd match. But I guess if you go into Little Caesars, they've got some fucking shooters. They've got some hitters in there, dude. I don't know what they're doing with these employees, but I guess they're doing it right because these guys are ride or die for the Caesars. So we're like, yo, fuck this shit, dude. Let's get out of here. Cody drives off. He puts it in drive, and we're just kind of yelling shit at him back and forth. We're just talking shit. They're like, yo, don't ever fucking come back here, man. Like, I'm the fucking manager. Turned out the tall guy was the manager. He's like, don't ever come back here. I'll fucking remember you. Like, all this shit. And we're sitting there, and we're laughing our asses off partially, but also I'm like, yo, that escalated so quickly. We're all sitting there, and there's like a part of us that's laughing, but also a part of us that's like, I'm glad we're out of there because that escalated in like 5 seconds. That went from like the guy telling us to get out and us being like, okay, like, yeah, whatever, talking shit back and forth, to now the most giant man I've ever seen. Fucking Kevin Durant came over to my car and started swinging. Madness, dude. So we dipped the fuck out of there and we just drove back to Cody's house and we're sitting in his garage and we're geeking about this. We're laughing. We're like, dude, we actually just got banned from Little Caesars. Like, that was the stupidest thing we've ever done. In retrospect, looking back at it, this probably was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. I don't know what I expected to happen. This is like exactly what I like nowadays I would imagine to happen if I walked into an establishment and started smoking a blunt. But back then, I was stupid. I didn't expect this to happen. So we're all laughing about it. And I had a friend, like I mentioned earlier, I had a friend who worked at this Little Caesars who used to hook us up with free pizzas all the time. And I hit her up one day and I was like, yo, like, can I come get a free pizza? And I guess she had heard through like Josh or Elijah or Cody or I don't know, someone I was with about the incident that we were the ones who did it. And she was like, oh yeah, like, you can, but my manager's fucking pissed about that shit. Like, he might recognize you. He was talking about it to, like, all the employees and shit, you know? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, bro, did this man post up, like, a wanted poster of us for tapping a blunt? Like, yo, Little Caesars must be paying 6 figures, dude. This is madness. This guy's passionate. Put this guy in corporate, dude. He cares about the company. That shit was insane. So, I don't think it needs to be said, but I didn't go back to this Little Caesars for quite a while after this incident. This is probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done, like I mentioned, and I kind of wish we just smoked the blunt in the car like normal people instead. But here we are. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel, Goblin420, and watch the new vlog. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.